Sit down because I'm going to tell you some truths that nobody has the guts to say anymore. You're disappointed? Good. Because you need to wake up to reality. Today's youth is lost. I'm not talking about everyone, but the majority you see out there. And you know why? Because nobody has the balls to truly educate anymore. Look at what it's become. A bunch of people who think respect is optional, that their word is just a suggestion, that honoring your mother and father is outdated nonsense. Did you raise children? Then you know what I'm talking about. That child you carried in your arms, that you took food from your own mouth to feed, that you lost sleep over, today barely looks you in the eye, sends you 2-word messages, visits once a year if you're lucky, and still thinks they're doing you a favor. You want to know where the disaster started? It started when everyone decided that saying no traumatizes, that discipline is violence, that demanding respect is being authoritarian. They created an entire generation of emotional babies who think the world should bow to their feelings, and then you see it. People in their 20s, 30s who can't handle the slightest frustration, who quit everything at the first difficulty, who cut off family because they're taking care of their mental health. Translation: because family demanded responsibility and they don't want to hear it. Honest question: when did it become acceptable to treat your parents as disposable? When did it become normal to disappear, ghost them, forget birthdays, and still feel entitled to be offended when someone points it out? Your grandparents didn't do that. Your parents didn't do that. But this generation thinks family is a restaurant menu. Pick what you want and discard the rest. You know what hurts the most? It's that you gave everything. You gave education, shelter, food, opportunities you never had. And what did you get in return? Ingratitude, contempt disguised as evolution, a ready-made speech about how your values are toxic and how they need to break free. Break free from what? From the only thing that was always there for them? And don't complain because they'll call you a boomer, outdated, problematic. They'll say you don't understand because you're from another generation. As if love, respect, and loyalty had an expiration date. As if honesty was a modern invention. As if looking someone in the eye and telling the truth was outdated. Here's the part nobody wants to admit. They know they're wrong. Deep down, they know. They know they're abandoning those who never abandoned them. They know they're turning their backs on those who always stood up for them. But it's easier to blame you, to say you're difficult, that you don't accept who they are. Lies. You accept them. What you don't accept is being treated like garbage by those. You know what's worst? It's seeing people who can barely pay their own bills, who change jobs every 6 months, who can't maintain a relationship, thinking they have the moral authority to. People who've never built anything last. People who quit everything at the. You built a family with your. Worked until your bones ached. Gave up your dreams so your children could achieve theirs. And now? Now you're the villain of the story. Because you demand presence. Because you expect a phone call. Because you want to be treated with minimum dignity. How absurd, right? How audacious of you to want respect. And look at the contradiction. This same youth that despises you is lost. Drowning in anxiety, depression, existential emptiness. Because guess what? Cutting your roots doesn't make you fly. It makes you fall. But they'd rather pay therapists who are strangers than listen to those who've lived, who know, who can guide. Why do you think they're so afraid of commitment, so terrified of responsibility? It's because nobody ever taught them that some things in life are non-negotiable, that family isn't disposable, that your word must be honored, that respect isn't asked for, it's given. And now everyone's drifting aimlessly, without a compass, without a safe harbor. But listen here. Take a deep breath because I'm going to tell you something you need to hear. You didn't fail. Hear that? You didn't fail. You did what you had to do, with the tools you had, in the time you lived. And that has value, has weight, has dignity that no modern discourse can erase. And there's more. There's still hope. Because life collects its debts. Life always collects. And a day will come when those same people who turned their backs on you will understand. When they're old, tired, alone. When they realize that what they called a prison was actually protection. That what they called backwards was actually wisdom. That you weren't the problem, you were the solution they refused. So lift your head up. You don't need validation from those who don't value you. You've already proven your worth every day you woke up and fought. Every sacrifice you made. Every time you chose to stay when you could have left. Nobody can take that from you. And those who don't see it? That's their problem, not yours. You're still the foundation, even if they don't recognize it. And one day, when the storm hits hard, they'll remember where home is.